you've had your dog for years or you've just adopted a puppy, it can be hard on a pet parent if they see their dog isn't eating. Dr. Melissa Webster joins us now with some suggestions on how you can get their appetite back. All right, you brought a special friend. He's 11 years old,
this
right?
This is Nicholas,
and
yes.
he's a Pekingese?
Right. Yes, he's a
Pekingese. Okay, Nicholas, you have a little, yeah, he's a dude with a do. Look at that, I love it. All right, now, what's Nicholas's problem? He's just not hungry?
Well, Nicholas, he does not always eat, and he has to be hand-fed sometimes, and he does have an underlying medical condition. He has an insulinoma, and he takes special medications. But
is that what causes his appetite to not be so good?
Right, and his family brought him in because he wasn't eating, and she was really distressed, and he was losing weight. And he looks really poofy, but he's pretty skinny.
Yeah.
And he has to be hand-fed a lot of times, and he was quite a challenge to get to eat.
So you mentioned this medical condition. What else can cause a dog not to be hungry, or a cat for that matter?
For him, or any pet, sometimes anxiety, like you changed their living arrangement, or you got another pet. If there's competition over a food bowl, if the bowl's too high, this is a very smush-nosed dog, and if you give him a bowl this high, he's not going to be able to eat. He can't get his little neck in there.
That makes sense, yeah, of course.
Medications, sometimes antibiotics that we use, doxycycline in particular, makes dogs sometimes nauseated. Car rides can make pets nauseated, and, you know, they could just plain be sick, or they don't like their food.
You know, I was always told, especially with older dogs, and I'm dealing with an older dog at home right now, that when they stop eating, that's not a good sign, because it could mean that they're telling you they're ready to go.
Yes.
Is that true?
That does seem to be true. And some pets, though, I call it kind of jump-starting them to get them back to eating, because sometimes it is a medical condition, or they are getting close to the end, and we can give them a little more time and get them back to eating.
By jump-starting their appetite. Okay, so how do we do that?
So sometimes I add like chicken broth, something low salt, to the food to soften it.
Right.
Hot dogs, not my favorite food to feed regularly, but I think the salt drive they like. Turkey, chicken, sometimes cheese, Vienna sausages, cat or dog food, canned in particular.
Rather than the kibble, because sometimes they're not going to eat the kibble for whatever reason. Now, if you're going to go with people food, which again I've always been told is not good for them, you want to go with the low salt or very low sodium or no sodium, because you can. What about like a chicken breast that's boiled with no seasoning whatsoever and maybe a little bit of brown rice? That
would be perfect.
Okay.
I had a scrambled egg earlier. It just did not look as attractive. Scrambled eggs are something pretty safe too. But no, you know, don't cook it in grease or bacon grease.
Yeah, all that is bad. Bad. All right, how long do you go if your dog isn't eating well before you bring him or her to the vet?
Most pets, I would say, if they're not eating in typically a 24-hour period, they need to come in. For him, if he misses a meal, if he goes more than 12 hours, he could start seizuring.
Ooh.
So for him, it's a 12-hour. We have in our hospital, anybody sleeping over, if they don't eat in 12 hours, they're in front of a doctor.
Okay.
Because they're in a different situation.
Now, will he eat a little bit of this?
He loves it. That's why I brought it.
Have you starved him so he will eat? I'm kidding.
No, that is one of his favorites. That's why I brought it.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, he's like, oh, you're my best friend.
Oh, Nicholas. Even though you look a little girly with your hairdo, no, that's okay. He's secure in his masculinity.
Yes.
Oh, you like that? And he hasn't bitten me yet, so that's good.
Thank God.
That's good. All right. So last minute, important takeaway tip for our friends who want to make sure their dogs are eating and eating well.
Yeah, if your pet is not eating, please bring them to the veterinarian and don't wait more than a day. That's the biggest takeaway.
Because you don't want to necessarily feed them hot dogs and people food.
For weeks.
For weeks on end.
And days on end, because there's a problem.
Yeah, exactly. All right, there you go, Nicholas. Oh, he's enjoying his breakfast. All right, Dr. Webster, always a pleasure. Thank you so much for being here. Nicholas, nice job. Here you go. One more treat before we go.